But I just reiterate the same thing, and it's the message I'm trying to hone in at the moment, is that a business owner...
Can't you just agree with me and say, yeah, great,
yeah, I do agree with you.
Okay,
I 100% agree with you.
Don't say but then.
But...
Hi everyone, welcome to The Close today. My name is Spencer Lodge, and that person sitting over there, if you don't already know him, is...
Lewis Allsopp.
Lewis, I speak at 100 miles an hour when I'm passionate about something, Allsopp, and Spencer, who keeps a very consistent tone and...
That was really quick then. You
Was
were
it
really quick? Was that quick or not? I told you.
I didn't know. I just said I didn't know you could turn your head. I thought you only did that.
Sort out the camera. Hello.
So, episode number 4 of season 2.
Yes.
And we're talking about a subject that you and I are quite interested in, if we're all honest, aren't we?
Very interesting.
Okay, I've just come back from a week of business mastery with Tony Robbins.
Yep.
Had a great week over there, met some great people. Russell Brunson that owns ClickFunnels, mega successful guy. Keith Cunningham, billionaire, that had everything and lost everything and started all over again and made it twice.
Yeah.
Superb guy teaching people how to outsmart their competitors. So the subject today is exactly that: how to outsmart your competitors.
Yes.
A lot of people think they're outsmarting their competitors. A lot of people think they've got ideas that are going to outsmart, but a lot of the time people, even if they have a good idea, fearful of implementing it.
Correct.
Because it's away from the norm. It's in the whole world of tech nowadays, it's called disruption, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, how you disrupt an industry, and by disrupting that industry or part of the industry, okay, you can take advantage of a marketplace. Now, back when you were young, things were different to how they are today. Back when I was young, things were much different.
Agreed.
We have this type of technology at our hands all the time. You know, look at that.
It's mine, get off it.
That's his earphones.
Have you got any?
Yeah, I've got some of
Good,
these.
aren't
Yeah, they're good. Earphones. Did Apple outsmart their competitors?
No, they bought them. They bought Beats, didn't they? That's what they did.
They bought well, no, in terms of earphones.
Yeah, but they bought Beats our earphones. They bought them and obviously used the tech and put them in there. So they bought their biggest competitor and then launched their own product off the back of it. Smart.
Smart or outsmart?
Both.
So how does that? Let's talk about everyday industry.
Yep.
How do you outsmart your competitors? What do you do?
Are you talking about me personally?
Yeah. How does your business outsmart your competitors?
So if you talk about what I do, very simply, the biggest thing that any CEO should be doing is two things. Actively being interested in what's going on within your business. And then secondly, actively interested in what technology and what's turning the business and how you can utilize it. So how you outsmart your competitors is very simple. You do things very well that you're already doing, which is the basics to keep the income coming in, which is a massive part. You can't just strip your business apart. And secondly, understand what you can utilize now. So we'll give you an example. We've got tech coming in. I can't go into too much yet. I know you tried to get down with the last episode.
What, is it still coming in?
Still coming in at the moment.
It's still that tech that you spoke about like weeks ago.
It takes months to build. I'm building it from scratch, so it's not like something I'm just
and you're
buying.
Still not going to tell us about it.
Still not going to tell you about it.
Because you're fearful of your competitors stealing it.
Fearful. But the tech that we're
Real
launching...
estate brokers in Dubai, this is for you, okay? Lewis is fearful of you stealing his technology. What's the tech?
So the tech that we're launching...
Tell us about it.
No.
Come on.
You're not going to get it out of me.
Why can't you just tell us?
I can't, mate. It's not my place to say right now.
But why?
Because
what is going to be a problem of you having that technology?
See, this is like a sales off now. This is a peer pressure sales off, and I don't buckle to peer pressure.
This is not peer pressure.
Let's get back to technology.
I want to know.
I can't tell you. I'll sit on the show and give you the exclusive. How about that? Hey, you don't want the exclusive. Tony Robbins wants it.
But I'm a poor man's Tony Robbins.
No, yeah, of course you are. We're sitting in one of the biggest villas in Dubai. Not that poor.
Tell us about it then.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to push the market forward. How you do that is you use technology and you're using the tech to make a customer's experience easier. That's the whole purpose of it. I go back to the Deliveroo effect. I use Deliveroo nearly every single day. There's Uber Eats, there's Talabat. Why do we use this? It's easy to use. So how do you outsmart your competitor? Find out what the problems are in the market, create, innovate, and implement. And if you can do them things, which we're trying to do, which I'm not going to tell you about, which you're going to ask to do, but when we do that, you'll find that it will make our customers' life a lot easier. So a lot of people who are being outsmarted, and there's lots of you out there, that, including me, I'm probably being outsmarted from other people, watching what your competitors are doing when they're innovating, and you just copy the innovations. We talked a little about this before. That's not outsmarting someone. That's, we'll talk about the mortgage platform before, when we launched the mortgage platform, and then someone else launched it. You're always going to be a year or two behind what someone's trying to do. So how you outsmart your competitor is try and think about where the market's going to be in a year or 2 years, and look at the technology and push that into your business.
Okay.
Which we're trying to. I'm not saying we are nowhere near where we need to be, Spencer, nowhere near. But I'm willing to have a go. I've failed so many times on so many things, off-plan international portals, all these different things that we've launched and haven't worked. But we've had quite a few that have worked, and I'm willing to keep trying that until you find the jackpot.
Tell me about innovation.
Yeah.
How does innovation play out in your company?
Okay. So what happens with it is, ideally we would sit down and discuss what the problems are in the industry. Me and my business partner, really, Carl. Carl would sit down, normally bring the management into it, and we'd discuss ideas for what problems are. So conveyancing is a big issue at the moment in Dubai, conveyancing for the back end. So in the UK, when we sell house in the UK, so obviously we've got 3 branches in England, and they do very, very well. The market leaders in each area that they're in.
You haven't scratched your nose for a few minutes.
Have I not?
No.
Wait there.
Is everything okay?
I think so.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to check.
So now I'm thinking I want to scratch it. So these branches, when we do a sale in the UK, the software to be able to complete a sale is amazing. It's really, you want me to scratch, but I'm not going to scratch. The software is amazing in England.
Yeah.
So when you upload your documents to the file, clients get emails to say, receive the file, this is what's going on, this is the process. None of that exists at the moment. So we haven't done it ourselves, but someone building a software for the back end of a sale would innovate the whole of the Dubai real estate market tomorrow. But 2 things that it takes: someone to implement it, because everyone has ideas, and I'm one of them people that drills out 100 ideas a day. Implementing it and then paying for it is the big thing. One thing that someone said to me the day, Lewis, what are you paid to do?
Scratch your nose.
Yeah, scratch your nose. And I'm paid to pull the trigger. I'm paid to make sure that if I think that's the right thing to do, we do it. And there's a lot of CEOs in Dubai in real estate and owners of businesses talking about real estate. They're doing the cold calls, and they're doing the, let's just make sure we're on top of the bizzle. That's not where the market's going to be in 5 years. And I think that they'll only figure that out when it's too late. So we are big in innovation. We've got lots of ideas. We map it out, price it up. We have web meetings with our innovations company in the UK that does all our apps and our technology. We'll get them to a good example. I've had 4 Skype interviews in 5 working days with the tech team to discuss all this information and how it's going to work. And you have to map it out. If you want to innovate something, you've got to write down how it will work, and someone will come back to you and bring the flow chart, effectively, how it's going to work. And then it's boring, I'll be honest with you. It's a very boring thing to do, but if you can get it done and spend the time and have the knowledge, it can work.
Okay, so that is one way of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that innovation is everything.
Yep.
Because if you're not innovating, then you're stuck in a time warp, and the way that things have moved so fast with technology and everything else over the years.
Yes.
If you're not keeping ahead of that type of curve, then you're in trouble.
Agreed.
Okay, another way to outsmart your competitors is to do something that lots of companies don't do.
Okay.
And that's to look at how you can save money.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of companies out there that are making money.
Yeah.
But they're not making much money.
Agreed.
So they're making revenue, but they're not making a big profit margin.
Agreed.
And by not making a big profit margin, then you still have that whole hand-to-mouth mentality
Correct.
around the business. So for me, lots of companies need to think long and hard about how they spend money.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. There are property portals in Dubai you know about. Obviously, your Bayut and your Property Finder and your Dubizzle. The money that's being spent on advertising with those property portals could probably be invested
into your own website.
In creating your own portal.
I agree.
Number one, which in the long run, which will be cheaper for you because the fees with Property Finder and the likes are only going to go up and up and up. On top of that, where do you spend money that you don't need to spend money?
Yeah.
What are you doing to really understand the finances of your business? Because I find that, and again, in your industry, there's lots of companies that just aren't making anywhere near as much as they could make.
I think you have to reinvest into the business. I think it's twofold. I get what you're saying about cutting costs, and I'm a big believer in cutting. Me personally, the sales industry I'm in, the last thing I would cut is marketing. So if it was to take my budget from Property Finder or Debizzle, I would take that money and I'd reinvest that into another marketing. So to give you an example, we come off a portal called, I think it was Just Property, I think it was called last year. And they're a good company, but it wasn't getting the return that we wanted from it. So I placed that money into Rightmove. So we literally own the portal. If you click on the UAE, 1,800 listings about us. So anyone that's searching for anything from Rightmove, come through to us. So I believe in plugging from there to there, but reinvesting into it. If you talk about the 3 offices that we've opened up in JGE and etc., I know there's quite a few companies out there that are English companies, and their CEOs are just collecting their salaries and they're just using it to live month to month or have a nice life from. And maybe they've moved back to England, or maybe they're just not involved in the business anymore. But these people, their business is not going to be where they want to be in 2 or 3 years because they're not investing back into it. They're not moving forward with tech. They're not moving forward with offices. They're not moving forward with innovations.
Yeah, no, but okay, so
cutting the cost is one thing.
It's not all about growth.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of companies are focused on growth.
That's us.
Okay, but they're not focused on keeping costs low.
Agreed.
At the end of the day, if you have it's like we talked about with social media engagement.
Yes.
All right. You can have 100,000 followers and 5,000 engaged people, which is 5%. Or you can have 10,000 followers and 5,000 engaged people, which is 50%.
Agreed.
If you take that as a profit structure, what would you rather have? A profit margin of 50% or a profit margin of 5%?
Yeah.
A lot of companies spend money on recruitment. All right, they don't think about it; they just spend the money. There's companies out there, no disrespect to Guy Last, and because he's a great guy and whatnot, but they just spend money on recruitment without thinking about how they could better use that money to recruit people better.
We were the same.
Okay, let me finish this.
Go on.
There's loads of companies out there that are selling all kinds of stuff that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, in your industry, there's gazillions of real estate brokers. People have never heard of them. They do nothing on social media apart from posting pictures of houses for sale.
Yeah.
They don't create content. They don't create valuable content, and then they're not thinking what people are doing. Everyone's eyes are looking at these things all day, every day. If people are looking for a house, they look here. If people are looking for a toilet brush, they look here. If people are looking for food nowadays, they look here. This is where people look. So what are you doing to get people's attention? Oh, I'm going to spend some more money on advertising on an external portal to get people's attention. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That isn't smart, and that isn't outsmarting your competitors. I've heard a lot of people say recently, and this is really interesting, oh yeah, but everyone's doing video now.
Yeah.
Would you know what? Out of all of the real estate brokers here in the UAE, how many do you think are really doing video?
2.
There's actually 5.
Really?
5 people producing video.
Okay.
Out of how many brokerages are there?
Thousands.
So what are you really doing? Are you really innovating in your business? Are you really trying to have a step ahead of your competitors? Or are you just doing what everybody else is doing, and the stuff that seems like a lot of hard work, okay, you can't be bothered with processing and going forward with?
We talked about cutting costs. So innovating and making your business profitable, etc. If you take the growth out of the equation, the perfect example is recruitment. So I worked out in 2015, we spent £700,000 on recruitment.
Yep.
So there's 90 people. I think it was 6,000 a head you'd pay with the visas, relocations, recruitment fees of we were working with Guy Last and we were working with, and the money they were charging. I was sitting there thinking, we don't need this. So what we did is we poured all that money in that we had, and we just put that onto Indeeds and the monsters ourselves, and we made sure that we were the most visible, and we've cut our outgoings by about 70%. 70%.
Massive.
And that made me give the ability to be able to hire a recruiter internally and do that. So that's what I do. I'm very good at looking at what we're spending, and I know what if it doesn't work. So the portals at the moment for me, they work. I think they're very expensive, very, very expensive. However, they are like an addiction. Once your revenue's coming in from there is a fear that you can't take it away because that's where you're at. But we're at that level now where the amount of money we're spending, do we need to spend that much? We spend an incredible amount on these portals, probably too much money.
All right, but hold on a minute here. You've said to me two things.
Yes.
Number one, okay, and you'll forget some of this because you've got to be in drama. One thing you said to me is when you started producing the video content with me, the number of CV applications for jobs within your company grew by what percentage?
I don't know, but there's a lot. I'd be in drama, so I couldn't tell the amount. But it grew an incredible amount, like incredible. And even not just going back to what you said about the user engagement. So if you convert that into recruitment, the amount of people that are actually coming to us going, I watch the videos, I want to come work for you, that we're already speaking to, it's been incredible.
I got a message this morning, okay, and that message this morning came through. I'm going to share it with everyone because this is exactly how you have to think about it. So I don't know who this person is. He added me on Instagram, and I posted this morning on social media, on Instagram stories, that I was doing some episodes with you today.
Yep.
And so this is what it said. Hi, Spencer. Could you possibly put a few questions to Lewis about back to basics, as in what someone from the UK needs before coming financially over to the UAE, what they can expect as a training package before being released to the wolves, that kind of thing from a completely new guy moving to Dubai for the first time. That would be very useful for me, as I feel there are so many unanswered questions out there. I responded, sorry, Lee, I'm really busy with the schedule today, but I'll definitely try and do something with Lewis for you. And if not, I'll get Lewis to get in touch with you. Thank you, Spencer. Been really toying with myself over the last 18 months as to whether I'd be leaving a salaried job that I have over here earning X amount. I won't share that with you. Need to get out of my comfort zone, I suppose. Real estate looks promising for bigger earners, for dedicated people with the right attitude. Thanks a lot for the quick reply. Keep up the good work. The videos, they are brilliant and give a good real insight to Dubai. This came to me from somebody looking to get into the real estate industry.
Yeah.
People want to know what's going on.
Definitely.
Okay. And by producing these videos, not only do you have an increased number of people applying for jobs, you have people that are now asking me to ask you questions about jobs as well. How do you stay a step ahead of your competitor? Okay. You said 700,000 that was by 70%, okay, because you didn't have to use a system you used before. A massive cost saving.
Yes.
Imagine if that cost saving was a further 50% on top of that. Of course. Okay, because of that. Then that's outsmarting people. Yeah. Because whilst you're not spending that money, other people are spending that budget, okay, because they're not producing that type of stuff. Yeah. So for me, that kind of stuff's critical. Yeah. Now, the other thing you said was really interesting. It's like a drug. The property portals are like a drug. I didn't want to say
that word. I said an
addiction. I know. Sorry, not a drug. You said an addiction. Yeah, you're right. So you said it's a bit of addictive because, you know, you're tied into spending that money. Yes. You know you're getting X amount of leads from them, and it's hard to pull away from them because, you know, you need to rely on those leads to come in every month.
Agreed.
If you were producing content that created an equivalent number of leads,
of course,
then again, there's a massive cost saving involved, or a cost difference, hopefully, that producing the content doesn't cost as much money. Yep. And then you've got yourself into a position where you're not reliant on that addiction, or the business isn't relying on that addiction that it has, and nobody else within that. If you could get to that point, again, saving money means the profit margin's bigger on exactly the same amount of sales.
Which is the big thing for me, that you keeping it all in-house, you know. So if you could if you could not have portals, of course, it'd be amazing. Your profitability go through the roof as well. But the reality is, at the moment, they are needed. It's a big part of where it is. But
I'm going to stop you there again, because I'm not fucking having this. Okay, you came and you did a Facebook Live with me.
I did.
Okay, in the ballroom of a seminar I was holding. You came and you sat there and you talked to me before everybody came in, and then you left. As you left and you went outside, you saw these people outside, including, I think, your lawyer or something. You mentioned before. Okay, before then, you hadn't thought for 1 minute about whether seminars could help you out and grow your business. Yep. I was the same. So I was exactly that person a time before. Yeah. I saw the seminar and I'm like,
and I believe.
I believe.
Like the priest from, you know, from the royal wedding.
the royal wedding.
That's what you are.
Yeah, the pastor. So you see that, and then guess what? All of a sudden you start thinking, hold on a minute, what can we do here? If I could do property seminars where we could educate people on property, then you're creating a massive lead generation tool that way.
Agreed.
Then we discussed today, in between shooting, we discussed webinars.
We did.
Because I traveled to Thursday to start creating the content for the webinars that I'll be doing. And when I travel to the UK on Thursday to do that, that's going to give me the opportunity to run webinars all over the world, not just seminars where I have to be face-to-face here. With those differences that just you and I are talking about, okay, this is how you get ahead of your competition.
Agreed.
If you were a real estate broker and you needed 50 leads a month and you could educate 100 people once a month in a seminar, you could turn out of those 100 people, you could turn 50 leads around.
Agree. That's it. Listen, that's how you, like you said, you get ahead. But I just reiterate the same thing, and it's the message I'm trying to hone in at the moment, is that people, a business owner...
Can't you just agree with me and say, yeah, great,
I do agree with you.
Okay,
I 100% agree with you.
Don't say but then.
But...
what a wanker.
I do believe you need to reinvest. So I'll give you the perfect example. I think 99% of companies, let's be fair, let's call it 90% of companies, we stopped our Coventry City sponsorship this year. So, because we've done 4 years with it, we'd been to Wembley twice, won at Wembley twice, we've done our launches for our UK branches, it's brand awareness, we've done our brand awareness with it. So the why question is exactly what people are asking. It's the first question they ask. So what people don't know is that the money that we spent, which was 6 digits sterling, that money has been pulled out of there. 90% of companies would put it back in their pocket. If you
100 grand?
More than that sterling.
How much?
I've got NDAs. I can't say.
Is it less than 500?
Yeah, less than 500.
Is it less than 150?
More.
Is it more than 200?
That's all you need to know.
Is it more than 200?
It's more.
Is it less than 250?
I'm not playing this game. You know,
it's between 200 and 250. Okay, right.
So that money that we had there...
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot. But the exposure, we're on Daily Mail, Sky Sports, Wembley, we're everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So anyway, that money, we're on FIFA, Football Manager. Who else can say that, though?
Coventry.
Have you been on FIFA?
Hey, I don't even know how to play it.
Exactly. So anyway, that money that we got there, 90% of companies would take that money and put it back in their pockets. That's what they do. The minute that we decided to pull that from there, the first thing we left it there and we said, what do we do with it? We opened 2 new offices with that. That there will bring us revenue because it's twofold. Both the offices that we've opened with it, they're front facing. They're the only estate agents in the Palm. Let's use Palm an example. The only estate agent you can walk in and see. There's no other retail offices in the whole of the Palm. There's no other retail offices in Jamaica Golf Estates, and there's no one else where you can walk into in JGE for estate agents. So for us, we're one step ahead. We took that money, talking about innovation, and we're the only high street broker. So that is innovating. That's someone that's doing something different and outsmarting, because we're going to gain footfall of every single area that we're in. But that's what I don't think 90% of companies are willing to do. They're willing to get their money and reinvest it into the business. I get the profitability, which you are 100%. Everything you've said is right. But then there's also the bit where if you are saving money, what are you doing with that money? Because the idea is each dirham, you should be making 10 dirhams that you're bringing in.
That's because you're completely growth focused?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you don't have to spend X amount with property portals every month because you're producing the content. That money then means you have a bigger margin.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and you as a dividend receiver of a business and your fellow shareholders, okay, want to see the best dividend and the biggest profit they can within the business, because that's how businesses work, because businesses are there to make money.
Correct.
Yeah, and so the profit is king.
I agree.
Not the revenue, not the income, the net profit is the
Listen,
king.
I'd rather make 50% less and 100% more money if you could. You know what I mean? That's the reality behind it. But my mindset is different. Again, because you're talking about the growth focus. If I got that money in and let's say I didn't spend the money on Property Finder, I would invest it in tech, or I'd put it. So I'm an investable type of guy. I like to invest my money.
You're a spender.
I'm a spender. Yeah, I am a spender. But I like to spend.
Is Carl a spender?
I'm the spender. Carl likes to pull the purse strings in.
I like Carl.
Yeah, you would like him.
Carl's great.
Carl is great. But what we try to do is there's an
Right, Carl.
there's an even medium. I want to invest in tech and I push it forward. So I'm not there to stop on. I don't.
So
want
hold
that
a minute.
profitable.
Do you then come into? Do you have this kind of scenario with Carl?
Not really, no. Because we both want the same things. It's just that I'm gung ho and he's. So we find an even medium between. It's chalk and cheese, but it works. Carl is so process back end driven. It isn't like some of the stuff he's done, which I talked before about the software that we've got. All this stuff he's brought in and will completely revolutionise the back end of the business. So we're very different people. I'm like the showman, and I'm on the front face. Carl is the back, but it just works. It's a very interesting.
And if you've ever seen any of Carl's and Lewis's videos, that stands out. All right, good stuff. This is a really interesting subject and something I think we could explore a little bit more. Maybe next time on one of the other episodes, we can take a couple of case studies.
Definitely.
And see if we can look at other businesses.
Definitely.
Okay, and see how they've innovated or they haven't innovated or they haven't been able to get a step ahead of their competition. Yeah. Pepsi Cola is such a great example of that as well, you know, because we just keep calling it Coke, don't we?
Well, Apple's, we were talking about them before, that they've done what I've wanted to do. They've come in, they've took a product, relaunched it with money they've probably made elsewhere and gone again. That's what I like to do. I like to get a product, relaunch it, make money, go again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. Understood. All right, so we're up for time this time. Okay, on the next episode, we'll do that, though, for sure.
Okay, definitely.
All right, good chatting with you, Lou.
You too, mate.
Enjoying it?
Very good fun, as per.
Okay, so for all of you out there that are considering working in the real estate industry in the United Arab Emirates, don't call Allsopp and Allsopp. There's lots of much better companies out there. I'd try and avoid them like the plague. And for anyone that wants to get sales training, don't go to Make It Happen.
We're not the people for you.
But if you're serious about your career and you want to develop and you understand the importance of working with people that have got their fingers on the pulse, okay, and are committed to being the best that they can be in their industry, then these guys really are the guys at the forefront of their industry. And if they are, then always try and work, whenever you work with an organization, try and work with the best people out there, the people that will give you the best training, the best support, the best development. And I can assure you, and I tell you what, we'll go and film a couple of episodes in Lewis's offices with some of his staff so you can get an idea. Not in your filming room. Can we go do it in the office?
Yeah.
Okay, so some of you people can see out there what it's really like to work in there. I'll make sure they clean the desks and remove the coffee cups. And there's nobody in there that Lewis has to have a word in their ear with.
Man up.
Man up.
Man up.
We'll see you soon, folks. Whatever you do, get out and make it happen.
Bye.